us right here on ESPN. Alabama, Jasmine Walker getting set first team all SEC. They are taking on North Carolina. Again, that game right after us here on ESPN. Elsewhere, in a heartbreaker against the Thunder on Sunday, the Houston Rockets extended their losing streak. Fellas, listen to this, to 20 games under rookie head coach Stephen Silas. In his postgame presser, we saw defeated Stephen struggle to find words for the team's ails.
Hey, Coach. Tough one as the streak kind of continues. Did you feel your team getting, tied at all down the stretch? Do you feel like the weight of these losses is kind of building?
Yeah.
Unreal. He has not been put in a position to succeed, so really fair to judge him. Stephen A., whose exit hit the Rockets harder? Would you say it's Morey or James Harden?
Well, I'm going to say James Harden, of course, because we know how spectacular James Harden could be. And there is no way in hell that the Houston Rockets would be on a 20-game losing streak if James Harden was still in a Rockets uniform. But I'm also going to say it hit incredibly hard because of Harden's departure, because Harden wasn't just your star player, but Harden was the one, because of his greatness, that made everybody better and made everybody interested in playing the game of basketball because they were competitive. And by being competitive, everybody else would not have jumped ship. You look at this right now. Listen, John Wall is averaging 21 and 6. He's not a scrub. But we see there's a difference. There's levels to stardom. And there's an elite level that he's just not on compared to the other guys, even though he can play. We got Victor Oladipo there. The same could be said about him. Let's take into account what Stephen Silas is going through, ladies and gentlemen. This man served as an assistant coach for 20 years in the NBA before finally getting this opportunity. Russell Westbrook, gone. James Harden, gone. Hell, DeMarcus Cousins. Not that he would have made that big of a difference. Gone. Okay? You got that going on. John Wall's coming off his Achilles injury. Victor Oladipo still ain't what he used to be because of his injury from a couple of years back. Christian Wood was out for a while, and even though he's got some talent, he's not that big of a difference maker. He's a good player and a great piece for a good team, but he's insignificant on a bad team. This is what Stephen Silas walked into. Now, forgive me if I offend everybody by reminding folks, I want to emphasize, I think Steve Nash is doing a hell of a job. I think Mike D'Antoni on that bench obviously is doing a hell of a job, because we know anything great that happens on the offensive side of the ball has something to do with Mike D'Antoni, because he's just that brilliant of an offensive mind in the National Basketball Association. But when you look at it, I will remind everybody that Steve Nash, God bless him, great dude, never coached on any level in his career. And the first job he gets is coaching Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving with James Harden on the way. And Stephen Silas waits 20 years, and look at what he has to work with. These are the kind of things that black coaches have lamented forever. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, Max. There are black coaches who have gotten head coaching jobs that never had any coaching experience. They ain't never inherit no job like Steve Nash has. That's never been their first job. And it just strikes me as more than coincidental that at this day and age, and right now today, as we're sitting here talking about Stephen Silas, and you juxtapose that position to what Steve Nash is dealing with in Brooklyn. Wow. Wow. It's amazing. And again, it's not Steve Nash's fault. He did nothing wrong. He's doing a hell of a job. It's just a sad state of affairs what black coaches continue to have to deal with. It really is.
You and I don't see exactly eye to eye on that point. I'm going to answer the question in a second, but I want to respond to what you said. We don't see exactly eye to eye on that point. I mean, it was KD and Kyrie who got Steve Nash.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, right. So,
oh, I know that. That's what I mean. We do agree because that's what I'm saying.
That's personal relationships. But I will say this, and you don't need a bodyguard, on this issue or other issues. But I do want to say, you have been on this issue from day one. And if you look at Silas at that press conference, you can see that you obviously have a very good point. He is devastated. He waited 20 years, and now he's looking at 20 consecutive losses. And he must be thinking, like, what's going on? I mean, besides trying to just coach the guys, what's happening to my career as a head coach? I've been set up to fail. Okay. Now, let me.
Now, they had injuries, though. They had injuries.
No question.
Right.
Let me answer the question as to what hit the Rockets harder, Harden or Daryl Morey leaving. I'm going to say Daryl Morey. Now, obviously, if they had James Harden on the team, even if he's trying to play his way out of town, he ain't losing 20 straight games. He can't help himself. He's too excellent. But what I see from the Rockets, and this is not the new GM, Rafael Stone. I'm not casting any aspersions because let's see what happens over time.
Right.
Let's see if he has a plan, and let's see what happens over time. But with Daryl Morey and the Rockets, it wasn't just, they have D'Antoni as coach, or they have Harden as the point guard, or whatever you want to call him. It's that there was a plan. There was a brain, a mind at work at the top of the operation. And so there was always competence. Things were always happening moving in a positive way. When you take Morey out of the equation, it seems rudderless to me. At this moment, again, Stone, the new GM, he got a haul in the trade for James Harden in terms of draft picks at a point where I thought they had very little leverage. So we did a very, very good job there. But in terms of the way the team is functioning right now, they're utterly rudderless. It's one thing to lose James Harden. It's another thing to lose 20 straight games. To me, that seems like a rudderless team. So I'm going to say, and then you see what's going on in Philadelphia, where finally they seem to be getting things right.
But
I think it's the Daryl Morey effect.
Let's also highlight why this is affecting a lot of black coaches. Because what you look at, even though we understand injuries, the exit of James Harden, Russell Westbrook, that kind of thing, let's understand something here. Stephen Silas, in all likelihood, will never get another head coaching job once this is over. There's going to be but so much patience. I know Fertitta and Rockets management are going to swear up and down. They're going to stand by him. He's going to be there for years to come. And I'm not saying they're lying. What I'm saying to you is that ultimately you end up losing your job. We got a guy like Alvin Gentry. Listen, we're both fond of Stan Van Gundy. And I think Stan Van Gundy's a damn good coach who's going to do a damn good job. Alvin Gentry was nothing to sneeze at. He's an assistant in Sacramento. Alvin Gentry is nothing to sneeze at. I don't think he should have lost that job in New Orleans, but he's gone. And so when I look at it from that perspective, I'm just saying that we're going to see black coaches looking at Stephen Silas, and it's like another one bites the dust. Because once this is over, all you're going to have to lean on is his record. And then another owner is going to sit up there and say, well, why should I take the chance on this guy? And that's the problem with it. Because and I'm not saying that Rockets organization set him up to fail, but by virtue of the situation that he is in, okay? And one could argue, KD, Kyrie, you know what? You had a relationship with Nash, fine. You didn't have a relationship with any brothers that you could have interviewed?
It's working out, though. It's working out in Brooklyn.
It's working out. And I actually hate talking about it with Brooklyn because I think Nash is a good dude and he's a damn good coach. And I think his future is bright, and it should be bright. I just wish we were able to look at someplace else in the NBA where we saw a black man
where
get that kind of
African-American
opportunity.
coaches don't have to worry about, well, if I don't take this opportunity, maybe I never get another one. But if I do take it, I'm sunk.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, and people say you are your record, but this is an example where numbers do lie, and they don't tell the whole story, and it's completely unfair. All right, we'll leave it on that note, guys. When we come back, I want to get back to the tournament here. Dickie V, baby! He's joining us with his thoughts on what's happened thus far. And after Dickie V, we're going to talk a little bit about LeBron. Are his teammates right to call out Solomon Hill after their collision over the weekend? No AD, no LeBron now for the Lakers. We get into that.